Well, I'm going to do a little bit, try to clean up that chainsaw a little bit. Good afternoon. Well, it's a little breezy today, and to cool down a little bit compared to what it was, it's way too hot for me to do anything. I mean, geez, there's no happy medium. It goes right from winter right into summer. But tomorrow's supposed to cool off, and it's supposed to be some showers tonight. Anyways, I'm going to try to do a little cleanup. I cleaned this thing on the outside, but I got to clean in here. So what I did here, I went to my hardware store yesterday and I got 4 new screws to replace. There was only 2 screws in this, so I got 4 new screws, and the original screws were slotted, and these are Phillips, which I like working better with because I'm always slipping out of the slot, you know? Slipping out of the slot. Holy Michael there, Andy. Anyhow, a couple of people have suggested they use bar chain oil, which I bought, but not before I added SAE 30 in here, so I'll have to dump that out. Another fella said to use 32-to-1, which is good, because I looked on the internet and nowhere does it say what the fuel to oil mix is on these things. You cannot get a service manual on this. I've seen one for the XL, but not the 2, and it's not very clear, and it has watermarks on it. In other words, a company's name right across the writing, and it's very hard to see. So I needed to know that, and I needed to know the chain size, because usually they're marked on the bar, and there is nothing on this bar. It's worn off. So I would assume that you would just take the chain off and measure it. But it takes a special chain. From what I've been looking at online, a 3/8 inch pitch, low profile, 50 gauge. That's what it calls for. But it also says something about 14, some of them are 12. They're different lengths. So anyways, what I want to do is to open this up, but I don't want to take it apart too much, because my luck, it'll never go back together again. That's what happens with carburetors. Not so much with auto carburetors as weed whacker and lawnmower carburetors. I take them apart and they never work again. The stuff is way too small for me to work with. So I'm going to try to get this out so I can clean this black crap out of there. I got some carb cleaner, and I hope that I can clean a lot of this out. And what I should do is try to drain some of this out, because the original gas is still in here. There's a little bit in here, and then I got to get this out. Now, I am not sure. I watched a video on the disassembly of a model similar to this, but I'm a little leery about taking something apart and having it not go back together again. Make things worse. Sometimes you're better off leaving things alone if you don't know what you're doing. And I'll be the first to tell you that I don't know anything about these things. Should do. Plug out. Well, we'll disconnect the plug. We're not going to take the plug out right now. We'll just disconnect it for safety reasons. We'll make sure the switch is off. And looks to me like, oh, there's a screw missing here, I guess. There's a screw missing on this handle. I think what you got to do is to take this handle off. You might as well take this $15 price tag off too. think I need that anymore. Take this screw out here. Now these screws that I bought, that I just showed you on the video for the side cover, hardware store told me they were metric. I'm surprised because this saw I think goes into the mid to late 70s, I think, when it was made. There it goes. Alright, let's see what we got here in the bottom. Okay, over here, where there was no screw in the bottom, let me see if this thread fits in here, and I'll see if I can dig up a screw. Yeah, okay, that goes in. It's missing the bottom screw for this handle. So we'll just match this one up when I'm ready to put it back together again, and we'll know what to do. Now, at this time I'm not going to drain this, because from what I've seen on the video, this cover should come right off without any messing around with this, and besides that I want to leave this that way. This says fuel mix and chain oil, okay, but it doesn't tell you the ratio. So thanks to one of my viewers, 32 to 1, that's a good safe thing, safe mix ratio to use, because wow, I had the guy at the hardware store fit me up with screws, but he didn't want nothing to do with, I don't want to work on these things, I'm not working on them. I wanted to find out about the air filter, but other than fixing me up the screws, my local hardware, man, he put them in tight. Yeah, and that's hand tight. Other than, I wanted the air filter for this, and he said it's probably just a sponge rubber, which it looks like, and it can probably cut one out of a piece of foam rubber. These are the 4 screws. I just hope I don't screw things up here. It's not the case here. Wait a minute. Maybe it is. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to clean this stuff out here. All right, so we're going to clean this out. And these are the canisters, I guess you'd call them. It looks like she's got electronic ignition. And there's the shut-off switch right here. So pretty basic there. But I didn't want to disturb these because by looking at that YouTube video of a model that was similar to this, except that I think it was just an XL without the 2 after it, he took everything apart, the motor out of it, and disconnected the wire here, which probably just plugs in onto a spade lug and everything like that. But I won't do that because I don't have to. I just wonder where the air cleaner is on this. And the air intake. What the heck is there? There's no real air intake on this, is there? I don't see where do you get an air intake. The only air intake is probably from here. Well, I'm going to clean this up. Okay, I took this piece off. Comes off easy. I just had to pull these out a little bit. Is that where the air cleaner goes? There's nothing in there. There is nothing in there. This is basically all I do with carburetors. I don't attempt to take it apart. I just clean them up. Now, I think there's a low and high speed adjustment on that too. The park owner, when he came over, showed me that there was adjustments on here. Without my magnifying glass, I can't tell. This is the choke. It looks to me like, get that stuff out of there. Looks to me like it hasn't got a filter. I can probably squeeze one in, because here's one of the hoses right here for the fuel line. And trying to get that in there and then getting that pushed in, I'm not going to pull this apart any more than this. I'm going to try to clean it out. And maybe I can shove a little piece of foam rubber on top of that. If that's where the air filter goes, I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. I don't know how well you can see that, because I can't get too close with this camera. This won't focus in anything closer than 10 inches. But it's not too bad inside. I should get my air compressor out and blow some of that dirt out of there. I'll be right back. Okay, upon closer examination, here's the low and the high. Or vice versa, I don't know. Anyways, these are the screws here. Here's the choke lever. And looking in there with my magnifying glass, I can see this is filthy in here. But these things don't come out. I pulled pretty hard on them and they don't come out. I'm going to try. I got some screws up here. I'm going to try removing these two screws and these two screws in the bottom here, and see if I can slide this all out as one unit. I don't know. Probably have to remove that too. Man, I'll tell you, this is getting complicated here. Alright, I put the camera down. I'll come back in a minute here. And I feel confident taking it apart okay. If I think it's going to be where I can't put it back together again, I'll leave it. I'll just reach a piece of foam or cut it and stick it in there. It's funny that it's completely gone. It's probably disintegrated, but I have no idea what held it in. Maybe it just pressed in place. I don't know. You can't get a service manual on these. It's too old. You can't get parts for these. There are aftermarket parts that are similar. There's a site there that has these things and stuff, but you can't get the exact one. So a piece of foam rubber should be good enough for here, but I'm going to try to clean this out a little bit if I can. I'd like to clean the tank out too, and there's supposed to be a filter in either the oil or the gas or both. There's supposed to be a filter in there. Where it is, I have no idea. Okay, I'm going to leave well enough alone. I got these screws loose here, and I just snugged them back up again, just gently. This took every ounce of strength I had on my big screwdriver to get these loose. These I can't budge at all. I cannot budge them at all. I need some kind of an impact screwdriver or something like that if they make them. So I'm going to just stick a piece of foam rubber on this, and after it's all together, I'll try to adjust a low-speed jet. And I didn't attempt to do anything with this. From what I've been reading, this is about the right tension, if you can see the bottom of the teeth. Okay. There's a nut here, which I didn't look to see what size wrench it was. But there's also a screw in here, and and it was not tight. I have no idea what this screw is for. I have no idea whether it's supposed to be tight or is it an adjustment screw or what, but it was not tight. But I'll tighten it back up again. It wasn't tight to begin with. And I'm going to just put a piece of foam rubber in here, and I'm going to try to drain out the oil. I have no idea. If I can get a service manual on this, I know what the procedure is, but it's not going to do me any good anyways. I cannot get these screws out, and they go into the bottom of the engine, so nothing's going to come out of here until I can get those screws out. And of course, like I say, I can get these out. I buggered up the slot on these trying to move them. They were in there. I don't think it ever had been taken apart. So I'm going to leave it alone. It runs. And I'm going to clean it up, put a new filter in here. I've been spraying carburetor cleaner in here. We'll hit it again. We'll open it up here and clean out the inside. That's all. And we'll spray down in here, get the crap out, call it good. There must be special tools. I used to have one of these impact screwdriver things that it has a flat blade or a Phillips on it, and you'd put it down on the thing and you'd bang it with a hammer and it would jar it free. But I don't think I have that anymore. That was down in the cellar of the old shop, and I think all that stuff went in the giveaway when they came over to pick everything up. So I'll finish cleaning this up off camera, and I got a piece of foam rubber right here. This is about 3/4 of an inch thick. I'll just cut it and I'll shove it in there. At least it'll have a filter. I'll just cut part of this out of this thing, because that's all they are, is foam rubber anyways. And it's been running without a filter, and surprising enough it works. There's a little hole right here, and I don't know, maybe whoever had it probably stuck the carburetor cleaner in like this and cleaned the carburetor that way, and probably disintegrated the thing rather than to take it apart. Because the guy who had it knew nothing about it. He just used it and everything. And there's 2 triggers on this. I'm not sure why. There's no safety lock on it where, you know, if you a back brake or whatever you want to call it. And there is no chain thing across here like some of the newer ones have to prevent if a chain flies off. I guess this is too old to have any of them safety features. So I'm just going to clean her up and try to clean out the tanks. I'm not going to be able to do too much. I can clean out the tanks with the carburetor cleaner and try to see what this filter is in here, if there's one. I don't know. Somebody told me there's a filter in the oil. I would think that there'd be more apt to be a filter in the gas. Don't know. Okay, I got the oil cap off here, and I'm going to drain out the oil. I wish I had known about that before wasting some 30-weight oil in here. Okay, we'll drain that out. And we'll see if there's a filter in there. And we'll do the same with the gas. I got oil, you know, for 2-cycle oil. I have it in the shed. So when I'm ready to fire this thing up, I'll just use that. And I want to blow out a little more in the fins and around the muffler and so forth. Okay, that takes care of the oil. Now, don't really know. There's a hose sticking out about a ½ an inch in the top of this thing. And then there's another hose down inside. I don't feel no filter in there. I don't feel any filter in there. But I'm going to give you a close-up here. Get my camera all greasy here. Now I can't get too close with this camera, but there's a hose right here. It ends right here. It sticks in the top about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch down from the top of the canister. It just dead ends right there. I don't know if it goes in or not. And then down inside, there feels like another hose. And this hose that sticks in a little bit goes off to the top up here. But I don't know if it's broken off or what, but you could probably see it on the end of my finger. I can't get closer because I'll be out of focus. But you can see it right there. You see it moving when I take my finger off of it? That hose is like 1/4 an inch from the top where the cover goes, you know, the rim here. Then down below, inside, there's another hose running down the back, and it too is running out in this way. I think there's 2 hoses coming out of here. Something's loose in here. I can't tell. This is oil cover. Take the gas cover off. I sprayed them both with carburetor cleaner. Oh, could be the filter, I don't know. I sprayed them both with carburetor cleaner, and I can see a little bit better now in here. Let me see something here. Maybe there's a filter on the end of the line. That might be what I'm hearing. I think that's what it is. There's a filter. This is the oil reservoir. Why would they have a filter in the oil and not in the gas? Nothing rattling in the gas. Just a... Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Hear that? Alright, come back in the video in a minute here. I'm learning as I go. Okay, well, let's see. I have a small needle nose. Of course I can't find it. My electrical stuff. Okay. Good. Let's see. Let's see what we can do with this. Maybe I can do it without getting you all sprayed up here. Okay. All right, so now we know that is, but the oil, is it missing something or what? All right, let me give you a close-up here. All right, you see that little stub on to the right here, right there? And that dead ends. And there don't seem to be any remnants of any hose inside there. So, and it goes up in here. Let me give it a shot of spray here. Get my camera out of the way here. Boy, this thing likes to fart at me. All right, I put them back in. See, these don't come out. Obviously, the whole thing comes out as a unit, but I'm going to snug these back up before I forget it. These were in there. I'll tell you, they must have torqued the hell out of them. I can't budge the ones on the bottom. I cannot budge them at all. Okay, I don't know if you can see that with the magnifying glass, and the damn sun is right in my eye, right in the lens. But this one here is a low speed. This one must be a mechanical one right here, because here's the... On the left it says H, right here. Right here. And here it says L for low. This is sitting on the low. There's apparently no high-speed adjustment in that. And this one way over here is not marked at all. And I think that's a mechanical adjustment. Let me just move that out of the way there. I don't know if you can see that with the magnifying glass because this camera won't focus in on that close range. But there's an H on the left right here, and way over on the right there's a L, just to the right of this here, right where my screwdriver's touching. So apparently there's just one adjustment, and this other one I don't know what it is, but it doesn't have a marking on it. The markings are H and L right over here. H and L. So what I'm gonna do, see if I can shine in here. That looks pretty clean. I think we're going to make a little air filter and shove it in there. We'll cut a piece out of this foam rubber here. Okay, there's my air filter right there. And it's not in the way of the choke, because the choke is recessed down inside. And it's not interfering with the throttle. So that's what we're gonna do. I know I could probably get them screws out at the bottom, but I may have to grind them off. And I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna, off camera, I'm gonna take the compressor, I'm gonna blow all the fins out here and everything else and around the muffler and stuff. And I get a service manual on this, fine, you know. I can see why a lot of people don't want to work on the old ones, because there's just no service data on them. You know, there's no information on them. But thanks to one of my viewers, once again, for giving me the fuel to oil ratio, which is 32:1, and I would mix them heavier anyways because it protects the engine. I would never go 50:1 on these, because that's taking a chance of ruining your engine. Alright, I cleaned it out the best I could. Now we're going to put this back together. Hopefully it lines up. Got a damn space there. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't put this in. This is what I mean about these things. I'm no good at this stuff. I leave half the stuff out. I didn't put the plastic cover in. This way? I don't know. It's on top, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the way it went. I don't remember that piece sticking up in the air, but I guess it does. Now, these things are in all the way. Something's keeping it from going in. Right. Okay. Well, she's still up in the air. She's still up in the air. Well, I don't know. May have to live with it that way, but let's see. Now we can draw it down with the screw here. Yeah. Okay, we don't tighten it too much because we want to do the other one here. I don't even know, am I on camera? Yeah. Okay, she drew in. We'll come back and snug these all up. That's the last thing I do. Remember, this is my very first time ever working on something like this. Got a good compression on it. There's not much you can do about this, you know. It's the way it was when I got it. The string just hangs like that. I ain't gonna worry about that at all. I had to put this on. And should really find a screw for that. But I'll do that at another time. I will do that at another time. I just got to get a screw for here. I got it at a hardware store. I can spend 2 hours looking at my junk box. When I'm out for coffee, I'll do that. I tightened this screw up as tight as I can get it. That screw that's in here, I have no idea. It was loose, but it doesn't seem to jam, so I have no idea what that serves, because this is your adjustment right here. Okay. Remember, I don't have the service manual on this. I got my bar and chain oil. And it goes in this one on the right hand side. Chain oil. Cover on before I knock it over. I'm great at doing that. Now I gotta mix some gas and oil. I don't know if I got the oil. Two-cycle oil. Not sure if I got it or not. I got a little bit here, but I don't know what the mix is. It says 50 to 1, but it's not. Got more oil than that in it. It's only a tiny bit, but it might be enough to try it out. All right. And we're only going to run it for a very, very, very short time if it starts. If it starts. Because in case this isn't mixed, as I recall, I put more oil in it, so you can't go by what I marked on here, because I had this can for years, and there was different ratios that I put on here. So, all right, this out of the way, this out of the way. Those are hard. Choke was hard. I got a feeling this thing. Well, it's in there all the way. Half choke. All right, she runs. But it doesn't run slow, so I can't adjust to low speed. So I don't know how I'm going to work that one. But anyways, that's the story, folks. That's about the best I can do. Thanks for watching.